Hello friends, Pastor Amy here from Southgate United Methodist Church. It's Wednesday, February 15th. We're a little over halfway through the month. We're continuing to lift up individuals who are significant in African American history in this country, and I encourage you to look them up and learn more about them. And this all comes from a resource provided by the Michigan Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. I linked to it 2 videos ago, so you can go back and check that out if you like, or just follow along. So remember also, somewhere in this video I will issue a challenge question, some bit of trivia that you're encouraged to look up and tell me about on Sunday, and I might have something for you, like some chocolate or some Southgate swag. We'll see what I come up with for this Sunday. So coming up for February 15th, that's today, we celebrate Fannie Lou Hamer. She was an activist and a community organizer in the civil rights movement and in securing voting rights as well. Very active in about the mid-20th century. She co-founded the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. She actually ran for the Mississippi House of Representatives, but was barred from the ballot. They would not put her name on the ballot. And she joined with 2 other women, Victoria Gray and Annie Devine, to become the first Black women who to stand in the U.S. Congress. I invited there after unsuccessfully protesting the Mississippi House election. So Fannie Lou Hamer, look up information about her and her important work in civil rights and voting rights. Next one is for February 16th, Thursday, February 16th. We celebrate Bishop Leontine T.C. Kelly. She was the first Black woman elected to bishop in any major denomination, and that was in the United Methodist Church. So she was the first Black woman elected to the episcopacy as bishop to the United Methodist Church. She played a significant role in the development of Africa University in Zimbabwe, which is a college that has, it's an institution that has ties with the United Methodist Church. She has advocated for a number of important issues throughout her lifetime: an end to nuclear weapons, full inclusion of the LGBTQIA+ community in the church, and has engaged in ministry with those suffering from AIDS. Now, here's your challenge question. All right, this is the trivia question. So she served as a bishop in the United Methodist Church. Which annual conference did she serve as bishop? So what is the annual conference that Bishop Kelly served as the first Black woman elected as bishop? All right, so come tell me that on Sunday and you'll get something, I don't know what. All right, so for the 17th, we celebrate Mary Jackson. She was a mathematician and aerospace engineer, first Black female engineer at NASA, responsible for calculating the departure to and from space. Her work is directly responsible for the U.S. winning the space race in 1969. Her calculations put humans in space and on the moon. And one of the main characters in the movie Hidden Figures was based on her and her life. So that's Mary Jackson. On Saturday the 18th, we celebrate James Baldwin, who was a writer and activist, again, significant in the mid-20th century. The topics in his writings brought greater public awareness of many to several of the major political movements going on during that time, including but not limited to civil rights and the LGBTQIA liberation movement. Some of his books that are better known include Go Tell It on the Mountain, Giovanni's Room, If Beale Street Could Talk, and there's a collection of essays of his called Notes of a Native Son. That's also well known and highly celebrated. So that's James Baldwin. On Sunday, we celebrate Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm for February 19th. She was the first Black woman elected to Congress, and that was in 1968. She represented New York's 12th congressional district for 7 terms, from 1969 to 1983. She was also an activist and an educator. She was also the first Black woman to run for president, and that was in 1972. And her campaign slogan was "Unbought and Unbossed." That's Shirley Chisholm. On the 20th, we celebrate Malcolm X and his contributions to Black history and human rights. He was a human rights activist as well as a Muslim minister. He is somewhat controversial for some of his views. He was critical at times of the nonviolent strategies of the civil rights movement, but he also is widely celebrated for his pursuit of racial justice and advocating for better conditions for African Americans in America, but also Pan-African equality and an end to racism. He founded the Organization of Afro-American Unity and used that as a vehicle to internationalize the plight of African Americans and to find solidarity and common cause with African people around the world. So that's Malcolm X. And then last for this week, but certainly not least, is Maya Angelou, whom we celebrate on February 21st, so next Tuesday. She's writer, poet, civil rights activist. She's best known writing, it would be her autobiography, the book I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. That was published in 1969, but she's written she's been prolific in her writings and publications since then. Her poems often are topics about the experience of Black women, about the human spirit, and social justice for all. She also wrote for film, television, and theater. She was also a major organizer in a number of fundraising events for the civil rights movement in the 1950s and 1960s. So that is Maya Angelou, and that is the next 7 individuals that I hope you take some time this week to do some of your own digging and learn about some important people in our history. All right, and don't forget the challenge question: which annual conference did Bishop Kelly serve during her time as United Methodist Bishop? All right, so this Sunday is Transfiguration Sunday. We'll be talking about Jesus and his special moment on the mountain with his disciples and with Elijah and Moses. So come join us this Sunday. And until then, remember that God loves you. So do I. And I'll see you Sunday.